Hey guys, this is Network Jeff here. So I had a couple of my viewers ask me actually, said they wish I'd do a video on how you get into being a network engineer. So we're going to go over all of that here today, kind of your progress, what's kind of the best route for getting into being a network engineer. We're going to go over all that with you as soon as we roll the intro.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret.
So how in the world do you even get into networking? Man, you got to work to get experience, but then again, you have to work to get experience, but people want to hire experienced people. It's such a mess, man. Nobody wants to train people anymore. Should I get college, or should I go to some tech training school, or should I just find somebody to work on an apprenticeship? Man, what's the best way to do this? All good questions. Let's take a look at it. And even out here in the heat of the day in Texas, we're still going to start this video with the basics. Coffee. Hey guys, if you haven't done it already, if you like these videos, please take a second, click on that like, subscribe, comment button, and click to be notified anytime we release these videos. And thanks for watching, and we'll get you back to the video. So as far as training, you want to kind of get a training in basics of, how to work the equipment and everything else. And different people go different methods, and there's arguments on either side. Is it better to have a degree? Is it better to, just take technical training and get the certifications? I think either way is good. Now, when I did it, I actually did go to college and got a degree and got a bachelor degree in cybersecurity, one in network administration, and then actually went on from there, worked in the field while I was going to school. I had a real good guidance counselor that kind of really lined me out on what to do, and I pretty much followed her path all the way up, and I think it's a pretty good path. There's different ways of doing this. Inevitably, no matter which type of training that you do, more than anything, I think experience is what most people are looking for. I've really noticed in the culture today, a lot of people, they used to look for people that had the nomenclature, had the background and everything, and then they did a lot of training themselves. And now 80% of your companies just want to steal talent from other places. They don't want to put the time in and mentor people and do it. They'd rather just go find somebody who's already done that, pay them a little bit more money. But you can still find them. I would say, besides the training, whichever route you want to do, and if you decide not to do the whole full school term and have all that debt and everything, if you want to do there's several places out there like My Computer Careers and whatever they have in your area, where kind of like more just technical training that people give you in the area. Once you have that training, it's good to go for some kind of certification. Study for that, get you, for Cisco, get you like the CCNA or something, or if you're sticking with CompTIA, you have the Network Plus cert you can get, and the Security Plus cert, depending on how you want to do it. Beyond that, once you have that, what I think is the best way, when I first got in it, you have to get some experience in IT. While I was still in college, I started working for Best Buy, has that Geek Squad. I started working for them. I didn't stay with that one a long time, but it really is not about staying with these places a long time. You're just trying to get experience. Really, Geek Squad is more, to me, just a little bit of technical and a lot of trying to sell you their year-long contracts and stuff. And I wasn't really into that. So I was there for, 5-6 months. But after I'd been there for several months and I could put on that, I was working at that, then I was able to work for CompuCom, which CompuCom, what they are is when you have Walmart, when you have Lowe's and all that, and they want to hire field tech guys that come out and visit their place. This is one of the companies that do that. Now, that company trained their guys real good. Like, you shadowed a guy for, several weeks or a month and kind of learned how to work on these cash registers and different things like that. And that was a pretty cool job, and keep in mind, you're not going to be getting network engineer pay at first. Like, I think my first job I got was maybe at Geek Squad making $13 an hour. CompuCom, I might have been making $15 or $16 an hour. And then I think kind of went up from there. I worked for CompuCom for a couple of years. By then, my actual networking, I was doing stuff with wireless and things like that, but my networking skills were kind of getting a little bit rusty. Networking, cybersecurity, and all that are something where, you kind of use it or lose it. So luckily, I was still in school at the time, so I was still using it while I was doing that. But I did that for probably about 2 years. From there, they had a contract to hire position working at Verizon's network repair bureau. Once I went there, worked for there. It was a 6-month contract, and that's all that ended up being, was a 6-month contract. So once I got done with that, they had a neat program here where the state would help you, if you were on unemployment while you were looking for another place, they would help you do some boot camps to get your certifications. I took that opportunity to do some boot camps and get my, several certifications under my belt. And I was still in school at the time too, as a full-time student. Once I did that, I got out and I managed to get, because by now I had a couple of certifications. I'd been working a couple of years in the field. I ended up going, and you could stick with network engineering. I actually got one in the SOC. I didn't know if I wanted to go towards security or networking or what, so I ended up getting a job more in the security operations center for GameStop. From GameStop, I worked there for, 6-7 months, and then got an opportunity. One of the hospital systems out here I really liked, Texas Health. I was able to got an opportunity, and this is one thing I was going to say is a real good one. I decided to go with contract companies. Checked out with Tech Systems and several different ones. Well, Tech Systems client, one of them was Texas Health, and there was a 3-month contract to hire position at Texas Health for working in their data center operations. So I went ahead and took that, worked real hard on that. They ended up taking me on full-time after the 3 months. At that point, that got me in the door with full-time working, not full-blown network engineering, but doing a lot of the operations monitoring and stuff like that. And they ended up taking on the front-end security as well for the hospital. So they were also monitoring security stuff. So I was doing security, a little bit of networking, and a lot of operations monitoring. I was there for about 1.5 years, 2 years, and then they came up with level 1 network engineering. Well, keep in mind, from doing more of the monitoring and not doing the networking day in, day out, because by now, while I was with the Texas Health job, I had finished school and I had these certs and stuff, but if you don't use something all the time, you tend to kind of get real rusty at it and things get jumbled up. But luckily, they kind of gave me an opportunity. I hired from within. I found an opening for a network engineer level 1 position, and luckily, it's one of those places that work with you real good as long as you have kind of a background and understanding where they can work with you, and they're willing to take you in and kind of mentor you and develop you along. And ended up getting hired in the network engineering department, and that's how I got into being a network engineer. They were the ones that gave me kind of the opportunity in it, and been there. It's been a good place ever since then. I've been doing it. So that's one path. That's the way I took going in there, is just you got to build your you know, a little bit of experience here to kind of get you the opportunity to get into something else. And that's a smooth way to do it. Or be willing to take some jobs at first that don't pay quite as much, but, you know, they get you experience and get your feet in the door. I still think the best way, and where most of my jobs I found them, are hooking up with some of the, you know, the LinkedIn's getting so cluttered up, the Indeed, all that stuff. I think it's best just to reach out to them. You know, if you know who some of your places are, like out here we have Tech Systems, we have Collabra, we have these different places that work with tech on contract to hire type jobs, and get them. You know, I mean, if somebody's looking for 3 months contract to hire, if you get in there and work hard, you know, a lot of the time when you get in there, they're going to train you on what you're doing. So, you know, they just, that 3 months lets them know, hey, okay, are you a turd, or are you going to actually try and work hard and everything else, you know? So generally they're looking for good candidates when they do that. They just don't want to take the risk of bringing the wrong kind of people in the company. You know, when you're a contractor, they can just call that contractor and go, hey, don't send him back out here, give me somebody else. So, you know, they're not out doing that because, you know, they got to pay them a lot of money for your wages. You know, it comes out cheaper in the long run because they're not paying all the benefits to you and everything else through it. But those are great people to hook up with, and just, you know, do your couple of months, work hard, go out there and do it. And then, you know, chances are 1 or 2 of those jobs, you're going to end up landing something where the company decides to take you on full time. To me, that's the best way to get into it, because, you know, there are a lot of them. There's just so many scammy ads out there where, you know, so many people are just trying to collect your private information and do that. I wouldn't really worry as much about LinkedIn. You can be applying for 6-7 months trying to find something on there, because half the people are just trying to, you know, get your information, and it doesn't go anywhere. I would reach physically out to the places, you know, your bigger staffing companies like Tech Systems. You know, Robert Half is a real good one. Collabra, that's another good one. Reach out to a couple of those places and find out, you know, find out what they have opening. You know, they've all got clients. They're always trying to get clients, and clients are looking for some people that'll come in. Shoot, you may get one of the networking thing where they need somebody to help with racking and stacking the network equipment, or, you know, configuring some wireless things or something. Every job you do, you're going to learn something. So you're going to learn a little bit more. So that's my advice on the best way to get into it. I think even before taking the Geek Squad, the other ones and everything else, those are good if you have absolutely no experience, because, you know, you need to at least be able to say you got some kind of IT experience other than just going to school or something. So those kind of jobs are good for gaining some of that experience. And then, you know, once you have a little bit of that, then I would just go to the temp places, have them get you one, and go into it. It's probably the quickest way. Anyway, hope this helped, and appreciate you guys watching. Hey guys, if you like these videos, we got a lot more videos on the site. We got some network engineering videos. We got a bunch of travel videos, some stupid dad jokes. There's a lot of stuff to look at. There's, I don't know, 550 videos. There's a bunch of videos on the site. So check it out. And there's a bunch of different things we do and a bunch of different types of playlists. So anyway, we appreciate you guys watching this. You know, follow these links down below and check out some of the other videos on the site. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.